Hello everyone, I am welcoming you all once again to this channel. Today we are going to see what is a mixed basis set, and this is a kind of calculation where a mixed basis set means using different basis sets for different atoms in a same quantum chemistry calculation. So what happens sometimes, like in a molecular system, some atoms, like not all atoms need to be same computational treatment, like they don't require that kind of treatment. Importantly, the atoms which require a higher accuracy, and some atoms are heavy atoms or computationally more expensive. So for them what we required is a mixed basis set which will provide us an accurate which will provide us some accuracy in the accuracy and the speed, and also it will also take care about our computational cost. And typically when we have any kind of transition metals or heavy element in our system, then we typically prefer this kind of mixed basis set calculation. And here actually I have found one article, and here in this article they are mainly talking about, in their methodology section, if you will see here, you can check that whatever the reaction mechanism they have calculated, they have followed this kind of basis set. You see, like this kind of level of theory they have followed, and they are telling like in this work the DFT method to calculate the stationary points along reaction pathways at the WB97X-D BS2 and / WB97XD BSI label using the Gaussian 09 program. So here as we can see, this is nothing but a mixed kind of basis set that they have used, and later they have also mentioned that this BSI means what? This is corresponding to this LANL2DZ basis set for zinc, and 631GD basis set for other atoms, and BS2 denotes this LAN2DZ basis set for zinc, and 631 plus GDP basis set for other atoms. So this means they have first performed some calculation, and when they calculated their final energy, then they have used this kind of basis set for GEN and this kind of basis set for the other atoms. So this is how they have mixed their basis sets, and today we are also going to do the similar kind of thing. And for that, here what I have is, I have one input file. So first I am going to open that. So here as you can see, like we are performing the similar calculation here as we typically do. We are also calculating this OPT frequency, like we will optimize one molecule and we will also do the frequency calculation. And here we have taken the functional as WB97XT instead of B3LYB, like we are going along with this paper, that's why I have taken this value, like this basis this functional, and here we have written this is our GEN. So GEN is what? So actually this value we are providing so that we can tell the system that it will use this mixed kind of basis set. And those basis set we will define later, we will come to that. And these are all our typical kind of like tags that we typically provide during any kind of optimization reaction. Now if I will go to down, now here you see, like we have specified that this particular structure has a mixture of sulfur, nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen and zinc. So for carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, we have provided the basis set as 631 plus GDP as mentioned over here. You can see like they have mentioned this basis set for other atoms, and for zinc they have taken this LANL2DZ. So here we have also mentioned that, and this is the typical format of writing the both the basis set in Gaussian, and here first you have to write all these elements, and here one is the 0 symbol, then the basis set, then you have to provide a star value 4 star, then ZN, then O, then 0, then you have to provide the GENC basis set, then 4 star, and after this you can provide 2 such space, or like if you will not provide, it will not return to you any error. And this is how you can simply go to your so I am simply going to open this so that it will be easier to visualize. So here if I will simply go to the calculation setup, you can check we are going to do this OPT freak. Then the method section, we have taken the DFT with the functional as WB97XT, and the basis set we have chosen as GEN. And after that, all these are our simple tags, and here in the additional input section, this is what we have added, and this is what is appearing at the end of our input file, that is the zdsc.gjf. and this is how we have written that how we are defining this basis set for different atoms and different atoms present in the same molecule. Fine. Now the important part here I want to mention that here we have chosen this basis set as GEN. So this basis set GEN means what? So this GEN will use the total, like all electron system, means it will also include the core electron as well as the valence electron. So this GEN here, it typically means the general basis set, and by that it will do the all electron calculation. And sometimes in Gaussian, like here if you will see this example, here we have ZN which has 30 electrons. If we will do this calculation with this basis set like GEN, so it will take a lot of time, as it will calculate as it will consider all the electrons present in the atoms. But if we want to treat only the valence electron, and for that we can have an effective core potential, like all the core electrons will be effectively treated with the core potential. So for that we can also do another option, that is the GENCP. So that I will be showing you in another file. So this is what I just wanted to tell you, that why to use GEN and why to use GEN ECP. So now this part is clear, where we just have to define 2 such basis sets, one for this normal atoms like other atoms other than transition metal, and for transition metal we have to give separate kind of basis set like this LANL2DZ. Fine. And now I am going to this GEN ECP, and here I can tell you that what is the changes that we have made over here. Now you see here, instead of writing this GEN, we have written GEN ECP, which means general basis set, and this ECP means effective core potential. This GEN ECP is general basis set along with one effective core potential. And now here everything is same, but at the end here you can see this is the value that we have added. So what is this? This line is providing the effective core potential for the GENC, for all the core electrons present in the GENC atom, because we have the heavy element over here, that is the GENC, and which has 30 electrons. So we want to provide one effective core potential for all the core atoms present in for all the core electrons present in the GENC. That's why this is the effective core potential line that we have provided, and here we have simply written ZN0, and this is the effective core potential, that is LANL2DL, which is different than this previous one. Fine. Now again I am going to do the same thing. I will open this using our Gauss view to show you the exact setup. And let's go to this calculation method, and here you can see like we are doing this OPT freak, and instead of like here everything is same, instead of this basis set which we have chosen earlier as GEN, here it is GEN ECP. All these options are available here. You can simply click on this, and next is all these are simple and similar. Here only we have provided that one extra line which is suggesting to our core effective potential, like effective core potential, which is the ECP part. This is the one which we have added. And if you are going to do your calculation with GEN ECP, then you will save lot of your time and lot of your computational cost. And I can also show you, because I have already performed this calculation for this simple optimization. I can show you that log file over here. And here is simply you can check that this is the energy value that we got with this functional, that is -2160.833909. and in the thermochemistry you can see that this is the imaginary frequency of 0 value, and the optimization is also converged, and we have also done this frequency calculation, and this is the result for that. And this is how we got the result with the GEN ECP. And if you want, you can also do comparison for any system, like you can also run one calculation with GEN and as well as with GEN ECP, and you can compare like how much time it required to optimize the GEN and GEN ECP. Then you will realize that how can you save your time and your computational cost by simply changing and by simply adding one pseudo potential, or by adding one effective core potential. Yeah. So this much, just this much for today's session, and thank you all, and bye bye.